Well, thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Our top story at 5, a manager at a North Portland children's clinic attacked and robbed while on her way to work. The assault sent her to the ER while staff and patients are asking for help and now taking new precautions. Blair Best explains why it's just the latest incident leaving this community feeling unsafe.
Walking to work and on high alert.
It's crazy. I see a lot of nurses and doctors walking around with maces in their hands and stuff.
Safety is top of mind for many nurses and patients at the Randall Emanuel Medical Campus in North Portland.
So we kind of just dart to our vehicle and go on.
A clinic manager was recently assaulted and robbed while coming into work. She didn't feel comfortable talking with KGW on camera, but for some coworkers, this was the last straw.
And everybody's just shaken. We're losing providers, we're losing clinic staff, everybody's worried.
Social worker Jacob Wicks says police never came, even though they were called multiple times.
So I'm always aware of my surroundings.
Wicks has learned to be alert after working here for the past 3 years. He says recent shootings at Dawson Park and nearby homeless camps make him feel unsafe.
Every time there's been gunfire in the past 2 years, I've been in the clinic, I've heard it. It's frightening.
But yeah, it's just a lot of unsafe situations around the property.
This woman takes her 15-month-old to the clinic on a regular basis.
I actually really don't like coming down to this area anymore. The hospital here is really good. I like it, but I kind of just run to my car.
It's this medical office right across the street from Dawson Park where a majority of the concerns lie. They now have security guards working the building and are about to increase their hours. But as staff will tell you, a security guard only goes so far.
I think this is a larger problem than Legacy can handle.
Emanuel is not a safe place. It hasn't been for years. They've been trying to get these people out the park, but it's just, they won't go nowhere.
We are going to address this and continue to address this. And we are here to provide care for patients and families and to make sure that our staff is safe.
Cindy Hill is the hospital's interim president. She says they're installing bulletproof glass at one of the children's clinics and fences around parts of the campus. They're even talking about potentially moving the clinic closest to Dawson Park.
We need quick response. We need proactive problem solving.
They're asking Portland Police for increased presence, but Portland Police tells KGW that the demand for their services is higher than their resources. And because of this, they can't do as much proactive police work and as many extra patrols as they'd like.
We care about our people. We do. And we are caregivers.
In North Portland, Blair Best, KGW News.
Well, let's get to the results of the Washington primary. The stage now set for the 3rd congressional district. Trump-backed Republican Joe Kent facing Democrat Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez in the general election. Kent, of course, ousted 6-term Republican Congresswoman Jamie Herrera Butler from that number 2 spot. Well, let's bring in Tim Gordon in Vancouver. Tim, this could be one of the most closely watched races in the country. We have heard from the candidates and the analysts, but what do voters make of the matchup?
Well, David, we talked to voters here in Vancouver, but also up in Woodland, which you could argue has a stronger conservative electorate. We wanted to hear what they think of this matchup between Kent and Perez, facing off for November now. Well, just a reminder for folks that Kent, a Republican, was able to give a victory speech last night after incumbent 3rd District Republican Jamie Herrera Butler conceded the race. Now, Kent, who's endorsed by former President Trump, now faces the Democrat Gluesenkamp-Perez, the top vote getter in the primary. She, like Kent, is a relative newcomer to politics, so this is an interesting race, and voters will be getting to know the candidates more over the next few months. But we spoke with some people who are pretty clear how they feel already.
I'm excited for Joe that he won, and he's going to hopefully represent the 3rd District come November.
So you were ready for a change?
Yes, I was.
He was endorsed by Trump, and that scares me because I want something moderate. I want calm, and I don't know how that's going to be.
Now, this is an interesting situation to have an incumbent unseated in the primary, no less. The last time an incumbent in this district didn't get re-election was back in 1994. And David, as you mentioned, across the country, they're going to be watching this one. A lot of money expected to flow in and a hot race all the way to November. Back to you.
Yeah, essentially day one of the campaign starting right now. Tim Gordon in Vancouver. Thank you, Tim. Let's bring an update tonight on wildfire season. And that includes the Cedar Creek fire that sparked a week ago on Monday. Crews say it's burned more than 3,700 acres in the Willamette National Forest, closing parts of Waldo Lake and the Three Sisters Wilderness. It is 0% contained. That is just one of several blazes crews believe were started by lightning strikes. Now, in less than 3 days, more than 100 fire starts have been spotted in Deschutes, Jefferson, and Crook counties. Now, thankfully, most of them are small and they are just being monitored, at least for now. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino. Matt, what is going on with the storms right now?
Yeah, we're getting a big break over the Cascades right now, but there are thunderstorms in Oregon. But I want to talk a little bit about the lightning strikes in the last couple of days. Look at this map. Every one of these triangles indicates a lightning strike. And in the last 48 hours, over 5,000 strikes in Oregon alone, with several hundred more up in Washington, too. And as you can see, it wasn't just over or east of the Cascades. We had strikes in the valley. We had strikes in the Coast Range, even along the coast last night. So, yes, it's been an active 48 hours for lightning here in the state of Oregon. Now, not every one of these strikes, of course, will start a fire, but that's why the Forest Service and the land management agencies will be monitoring these very, very closely in case any of them do begin to grow and become problematic. Now, lightning today, Northeast Oregon, Umatilla and Wallowa counties, pretty much that's where we've got it going on. These storms pushing north into Washington, as you can see, but there's a strong one right there on the border, likely producing some hail. We had large hail yesterday, too, and that was one of the things that helped us last night. In spite of those 5,000 lightning strikes, many of those thunderstorms were dropping pretty heavy rain and large hail, which, of course, can help to diminish the threat of getting new wildfire starts. Right now, the only fire weather warning, is down in Lake and Klamath counties here, and that extends until tonight at 9 o'clock. So things have calmed down for a bit, and we've got some cool weather on the way for a couple of days. No rain, and then hot again next week. That'll become problematic as those starts linger and smolder, and we may see some flare-ups at that point. There's the fire you just talked about down near Waldo Lake, and then another fire's popped up in the Coast Range. David?
Keeping an eye on them. Thank you, Matt. 7 shootings in less than a week, and this evening Gresham police are describing the recent spike in gun violence as unprecedented. Mike Benner joins us now in the newsroom. Mike, that is a big reality check from police. They're unprecedented. So what is the plan to stop the gunfire?
Yeah, David, it appears to be a team effort. Gresham PD is working with 2 other agencies to develop a plan. Among other things, it'll involve enhanced patrols throughout different parts of the city. It's relief for people who live and work in Gresham, especially the woman who captured a frightening moment on camera. Take a look.
Caught on camera, a man and woman duck for cover as bullets fly in downtown Gresham.
It's so scary.
Shelley Gray is the owner of Equinox Tattoo Collective and Gallery. A security camera mounted inside the business captured parts of a shooting that left behind more than 50 shell casings.
It's just way too many rounds and it's way too close. There's bullet holes, not 20 feet up the wall next to us in the cafe next to us.
The Friday night shooting is one of 7 shootings over a 5-day span. Another was near the corner of Northeast 169th Avenue and Northeast Russell Street. There, authorities found more than 100 shell casings.
The fact that there was 111 or 112 casings into one house, that would kind of send a message to a lot of people that that was a targeted thing or a kind of a statement that was being made.
Officer Adam Baker calls the gun violence in Gresham unprecedented. He says Gresham PD is working with the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office and the Portland Police Bureau to address the gunfire.
Yeah, we're allocating some resources to some enhanced patrol this weekend coming up and potentially into other weekends just to try to address the root causes of this.
It'd be nice to see a little bit more surveillance from the police and fellow business owners.
Because according to Shelley Gray, the sheer terror caught on her security camera is unacceptable. She says something needs to be done, and sooner rather than later.
We're gonna all have to get together as a community and make sure it calms down, educate people, take care of the youth.
All right, remarkably, nobody was killed in any of the 7 shootings. Officers know of only 2 people injured. As far as arrests go, nobody's been taken into custody. Anybody with information is urged to contact Gresham Police.
That video there of them hunkering down just says it all. Thank you, Mike. Well, they're a big blight, often a safety hazard. Now some Oregon officials are making a push for the big funding needed to clean up abandoned and derelict boats. Daisy Caballero reports on new efforts to tackle an ongoing environmental challenge that seems to be growing.
Commercial vessel cleanups come with big price tags. It's often upwards of $1 million.
The State Land Board has requested $40 million in general funds to remove the hundreds of vessels littering Oregon's waterways. There are 19 known commercial vessels that are at the top of the list to be removed.
Getting an infusion of general fund, which we're asking for in the department's budget, would go a long way to helping us remove vessels from the waterways.
The department is working with federal, state, and local partners to remove 4 vessels by the end of the year. They include the Saccharissa and Alert vessels, 2 vessels we toured last year that are located in the Columbia River off Hayden Island. But it's not just those 2. It's also the Tiffany vessel and the historic river ferry in Astoria that capsized just 2 weeks ago.
That $40 million, it would help us do those cleanups to make waterways healthy and safe, and also make sure that school kids do not have to foot the bill.
For the last 5 years, $12.9 million have been taken from the Common School Fund to remove these vessels from public waterways. The removal plan will consist of 3 different stages. The first phase will include engaging stakeholders in updating cost information, following by hiring staff and developing a 2-year plan. The removal of commercial and recreational vessels will be the last phase for the time being.
The department's request for this funding, it's the beginning of the conversation.
Now, the efforts don't just stop there. The Department of State Lands is hoping to adopt some sort of vessel turn-in program alongside other preventative measures to make it easier for people to turn in unwanted vessels and harder for people to abandon their vessels in Oregon waterways. I'm Daisy Caballero for KGW News.